nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
Anywhere between 10,000 and 70,000 American lives are now held hostage by accelerating Taliban Wahhabi rule. There are reports that the kill list is long, as identities and bank records of Americans were retrieved from the U.S. Embassy, while the outer perimeter outside the airport becomes a chaotic hunting ground. Meanwhile, it has been 11 long days with only a disaster of an interview between Biden and questions from the Democratic operative George Stephanopolous.
George, the reason why it's been stable for a year is because the last president said, we're leaving. We have control of the airport now.
Still a lot of pandemonium outside the airport.
Well, there is, but look, but no one's being killed right now. God forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but no one's being killed right now.
And this debacle.
I cannot promise what the final outcome will be, or what it will be, that it will be without risk of loss. But as Commander-in-Chief, I can assure you that I will mobilize every resource necessary.
Biden ignored the $10 trillion terror cell he has just created.
Secretary Blinken is with me today, met this morning with our NATO allies in consultation about the way forward, so that Afghanistan cannot be used in the future as a terrorist base of attack to attack the United States or our allies.
Ignored the tough details to send in special forces to rescue Americans behind enemy lines.
We are particularly focused on our engagements on making sure every American who wants to leave can get to the airport. Where we have been seeing challenges with Americans for Americans, we have thus far been able to resolve them.
Biden then implicated our allies in his disaster.
What is your message to America's partners around the world who have criticized not the withdrawal, but the conduct of that withdrawal and made them question America's credibility on the world stage?
I have seen no question of our credibility from our allies around the world.
But the withdrawal, when it came, was due to be orderly, planned, and on the basis of conditions. It has been none of these. What does it say about us as a country? What does it say about NATO if we are entirely dependent on a unilateral decision taken by the United States?
The chaotic, ghastly departure, the way that people were falling off the aircraft in their determination to get away and the helicopter shipping people out, says terrible things about the values that we hold and those who we wish to protect. So this is a shame on all of us.
And the idea that if I had said on May the 2nd or 3rd, we are not leaving, we are staying, does anybody truly believe that I would not have had to put in significantly more American forces, send your sons, your daughters, like my son was sent to Iraq, to maybe die? And for what? For what?
And then let the cat out of the bag that the questions were pre-planned after a reporter changed his question.
He did the interview with ABC News, but the White House press corps and the American people have a lot of direct questions for him. Will he take those today?
The president never shies away from taking questions. I'll let him make a decision if he's going to take questions this afternoon.
Said that there's no circumstances where American citizens cannot get to the airport. That doesn't really square with the images we're seeing around the airport, with the reporting on the ground from our colleagues who are describing chaos and violence. Are you saying unequivocally that any American who wants to get to the airport is getting there and getting past the security barrier and to the planes where they want to go?
I thought the question was, how can they get through to the airport outside the airport?
As the Pentagon Office of the Inspector General recently verified that the Taliban has continued to maintain its relationship with al-Qaeda and has provided safe haven for them in Afghanistan.
What interest do we have in Afghanistan at this point with al-Qaeda gone?
What is your current estimate for how many al-Qaeda are inside Afghanistan?
I haven't seen an estimate on that. I don't know. We have an exact estimate.
Military intelligence estimates about how many al-Qaeda remain in Afghanistan.
We know that al-Qaeda is a presence, as well as ISIS, in Afghanistan.
The president just said that there is no al-Qaeda presence in Afghanistan. That does not seem to be correct.
What we don't think is that what we believe is that there isn't a presence that is significant enough to merit a threat
And then the Vice President, the Secretary of State, and the President of the United States turned their backs on America and walked away. Either they are merely hiding from a mistake they can't arrogantly talk their way out of, or worse, they are preparing future operation rhetoric for the bloodbath and refugee COVID invasion that is coming. The chaos and lack of planning has gradually revealed the horrible possibility that maybe, just maybe, an arrogant, barely cognizant, corrupt, compromised, 78-year-old foreign asset is actually calling the shots.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
And should be hastily impeached on a conviction of neglect of duty and corruption. John Bowne reporting.